Hello, Flosstube. I'm back with another video. Today I'm going to talk about my WIPGO plans. Towards the end of last year, 2023, I found out about WIPGO, and it's basically bingo for hobbies. So like you can have WIPGO for knitting, crocheting, even reading books, apparently. So I'm obviously doing it for cross stitch, but you guys probably figured that out already. This is my WIPGO board. So you have 25 squares and you write down your projects in the 25 squares. And then each project you assign a goal. They can all be the same goal or they can be different goals. It's up to you. Every month, the person running WIPGO, Jessie from Jessie Does Stuff, or Jessie Marie Does Stuff, I think. You all know her. Anyway, Jessie will call out the numbers for the month. So like January, there's 2 numbers, and then so on and so forth. So you write those numbers down, or you just mark the box for what number has been called. And for my WIPGO board, I'm using these black circles, stickers that I got for scrapbooking, and I'm marking that with that. And then if you complete a goal, then you mark it somehow. I have marked mine with a star. And all these stars look different, but these are the ones I have completed. And because I was behind and I started WIPGO in April, when it was already going and it had been called for January, February, and March, I decided to make those goals a little bit smaller. That way I could complete them, because I wanted to catch up on WIPGO and actually try to make the goals harder as they go on. So like I'm gonna try to get April's done in April, and then in May I'm gonna try to make some harder goals going forward. So my goals for the January, February, and March were to put 100 stitches in each of the projects that have been called. So I'm gonna show you those and then show you where I left off, because I'm not completely done with this yet. And then I'll show you 2 other projects that I've been working on that are not related to WIPGO, and that'll be the video. So first off, I have a WIPGO call number 1, which was number 9 for January. And number 9 on my board was Pocahontas. This pattern I got off of Etsy, and it's no longer on there. The shop has closed, but I think someone asked me where I got the pattern, so I looked it up, and if you just type in Pocahontas cross stitch, there are still like a bunch that you can get, so that are kind of similar to this style, like realistic with her walking and stuff. So you're not at a loss if you like this pattern. I'll put a before picture of where I was when I started this project before WIPGO. I'm doing this on Fiberlicious Maldivian Dreams 32 count Lugana. And what I am showing you is my progress after 100 stitches. So I finished off this leaf. As you can see, there's a page line here, the end of page 1. So I finished this leaf and then I went this way. So this line, it's not very interesting right now. I basically just stitched this line and then I continued the circle. And I am not stitching this yellow behind her. This was all stitched, so it's full coverage, but I'm letting the blue shine through. As I always say shine, but that's not accurate. It's just show. The blue shows through so that she will look like she's walking, because obviously blue to green reminded me of the sky to grass. So because she's Pocahontas, I thought it would be perfect for her to be walking outside. When you are in need, call the doctor. David Tennant doctor. All right, WIPGO number 2 for January was number 22. Number 22 on my board is a magazine pattern by Doreen Jones. It is Happiness is a rainbow of new thread skeins, and it's just called Stitcher's Saying, so that's not the title. These words are not the title. The title is Stitcher's Saying. And the cover for this magazine fell off, but it is the World of Cross Stitching magazine. And this was the cover of the magazine, which I still have. I just don't carry it with the magazine since it is no longer attached. And I will put a before picture. I have Flosstube on in there. I just have it on mute, so maybe I should turn it off so I stop distracting myself. My foot itches now. It's not just Flosstube itchy nose, it's Flosstube your feet itch too. I don't know. Doing this on Dreaming Blossoms. 28 count Opal Lugana. And this is where I am now after 100 stitches. So there's a thread hanging because I got to 100 stitches and I didn't finish the thread, but the next block over in the pattern was that color, so I was not gonna cut it off. So I basically started stitching the R. There, it's an actual, somebody like drew this. It's from Society 6, where they like have artists that like draw stuff and then you can put it on artwork and coffee mugs. I got this as a present from my BFF. All right, February's WIPGO call. I have my WIPGO board right down here. February's WIPGO call was number 3 for the first call, and that project for me was How to Spot a Supervillain by Pyro Dog Pins. And this is a page out of the X Stitch magazine that I purposely took apart so that I could follow the pattern easier. I'll put a picture of what it looked like before. I am doing this on Fiberlicious Wicked Night, 32 count Lucana. Gravity. And this is what it looks like now. This fabric reminded me of like the toxic poison that the Joker has and he throws everywhere in like the animated Batman. what I did was in the middle, here, I worked more in the blue, and I just filled in the blue, and then I think I filled in more of the hat, maybe, or maybe not. But I just worked up in here, and it's the penguin, so it's like over here. Okay, February's number 2 call was 24, which is Super Secret Boy Band. And I'll put a picture of the pattern, like the finished product. And where I was before I put 100 stitches in. This is Fiberlicious Chocolate. It's 28 count opal Lugana. And this one has a thread hanging too because of the 100 stitches thing that I said before about. And I got the S and part of the E done down here. That was 100 stitches. So I'm starting to get to the word secret. Okay, the next WIPGO project that I worked on was for March, and the call was number 1. Number 1 on my list is Museum Shelf. Did I bring the photo? I did not bring the photo, but I will digitally insert the photo. I'm sure all of you already know what Museum Shelf looks like. It's that bookshelf by Amy Stewart from Heaven and Earth Designs. But I'll put a photo in anyway, just because that's how I do things. I'm doing this on 25 count Lugana. And it's something I got off 1, 2, 3 stitch. I think it's like Wicked Night. No, Stormy Night. Yes, Stormy Night Lugana. And it's the printed kind. So it's got modeling on the front, but on the back it is solid. So make sure you're not like me and you accidentally start stitching on the wrong side and have to frog out, because that's what happened with my other piece that I bought of a different color. I'll show you that one too today. Oh yeah, I'll put a picture of what it was before. I cleaned up a lot of the parked threads. The picture still kind of looks about the same, but I worked up in here. I finished this orange part here, and up in here I did a lot of the blue parked threads and then some of the red. So I believe that's right. I worked in a lot of blues and oranges. Anyway, I got 100 stitches in and it's looking good. This is the dead center of the pattern. So this guy here, it's the terracotta statue guy. And I always do my heids 2/1 full cross. More Doctor Who coffee. Okay, so Museum Shelf is the last WIPGO project that I was able to work on, or that I wanted to work on, for catching up. So I had to do some stuff with my memorabilia. I went to Staples and I made myself a working copy of the pattern because I had been working off of like a copy I made myself, but I wondered if Staples could do the like bigger sheet so that it would kind of go across all the way, and it kind of worked out because I ended up getting 2 working copies that were 8.5 by 11, which worked out great. And I tried one of the legal sized ones so that it's like the long paper, and it actually cut off like 25 blocks on one side, so I had to like shove it over and photocopy again. So I do have the whole working copy on there, but it's weird. It turns out 8.5 by 11, 2 sheets of that actually works for the working pattern to get all of the squares in. So anyway, I have not worked on this yet. This was call number 10, or it was March, and it was number 10 that was called. So this is the before because I have not put in any new stitches. And I finally got enough of her dress done that I realized I was basically down here. I think it's, yeah, it's like, because this little tail thing is what this is. So I was happy that I have gotten enough that I actually know what part of the dress this is. But I feel like my WIPGO goals for the first 3 months, I had been doing 100 stitches into the project so I could just put it away and then like be caught up. But I was looking at this and I was like, I missed this. This is Portrait of Veronica Mirabilia. It's MD 147. And I just realized I was like, I miss her. So I think I'm gonna change my WIPGO goal for her to be just work on her for 1 day, or maybe 2. I'll do 1, that way I don't overwhelm myself because I want to catch up on other stuff. So my WIPGO goal for this is to work on this for 1 day and see how many stitches I can get in. I'm also getting really excited about, this is not going to be until a long time from now, but where you can see where it's not stitched, I'm really excited because I'm like, oh, that's all beads. I love beading, so I'm like, and this Q-snap is huge, but I love it. So I have to like go like this. But I love seeing the empty spaces for beads. It just makes me happy. Okay. Stop gushing about beads. Let's see. Okay, so April's calls for WIPGO were 18 and, okay, the first call was 18, and 18 on my board is my Heaven and Earth Designs Egyptian Queen. And I got this when it was a freebie on their website, and it no longer is, but the pattern is still available. It's just the entire pattern, not just her face, which is what when I bought it, it was just her face. But I think it's called like Queen of the Nile. And this is the before. I have not done anything on her for WIPGO yet, but isn't she beautiful? I love her face. She's adorable. And her eyes are just, magically beautiful. I love her so much. This is vintage. What the hell? I'm pulling threads out from the, okay. This is a vintage country mocha, and it's 25 count Lugana. And this is the one where I accidentally started stitching on this side. And I was like, where's the modeling? Luckily, I only had done like 4 or 5 stitches, so it wasn't that bad. But yeah, so be careful. If you get some of these printed fabrics, make sure you stitch on the correct side. But I love this. Her crown is starting to come through. I just got super excited, like, when I was stitching her the last time, because all of the stuff is starting to come through. Because, like, she's cute, but, like, granted, I started in the middle, so I started on her nose, and it was just a lot of, like, you know, it's not all the same color, because, you know, Heaven and Earth, this has, like, 90 colors in it, but it just kind of, once it all blends together, you're kind of like, oh, it's kind of all the same. But then up here, it was like getting all multicolored and really pretty, and it just, I'm getting super excited. And I was really happy and excited doing her eyes too, but I'm getting to like the fun part, I think, which is her crown, so. Anyway. This is going to get 100 stitches as well when I get to it. How did I fold this? Folded it differently. Oh, I folded it so her face was. So her face was just in the middle. This is my project bag. One of my few that I have. I just got this from like, I don't know, TJ Maxx or something. It was like $5. And I was like, oh, it's a bag. I could put cross stitch in it. And I added this charm to it. It's just a cute little jewel, but I thought it fit really well for our Egyptian queen. Because, I don't know, this thing is okay, but it's kind of just meh. I thought I had a tag for what this was, but oh well. Okay. The last WIPGO call for April is number 21. Okay, and it's called Punch Today in the Face, or at least that's what it says. That's what the cross-stitch pattern will say. And it's by Stitchspiration. And it's also from the X-Stitch magazine. And I'm doing a color conversion of this because I'm not a huge fan of yellow, so that is why I changed the colors. And I'm doing this on Neverland. It's 28 count Opal Lugana from Fiberlicious, and I am making mine patriotic, so it's red, white, and blue. And that's how much I have right now. I took this to a crafting retreat a few years ago, and I was able to get quite a bit done on it. I think it looks really cool. Yeah. So I'm going to put 100 stitches in that, and then I will be done with April's call. And then I think for like May and stuff, although maybe not May, I got called for jury duty, and I'm not sure if they're actually going to like go through with it, because I have been called like 2 or 3 times before, and they've always canceled it, so maybe I won't have to go, but if I do, it'll be like 2 weeks in May that I won't be able to stitch like all day like I normally do. Well, all day. I'm saying like in between doing Flosstube and doing my other channel and doing housework and running errands. Yeah, all day. But okay. So I think I've been tracking my stitch number, like my stitch count, because I like to do that anyway. But then I've also been trying to do some research about how much do I actually stitch in a month. And so I've been trying to use that number to come up with like a reasonable number that I can reasonable number that I can set as a goal for my WIPGO. So like if I come to the end of April and I've only been stitching for maybe like 3/4 of the month of April because I hadn't been stitching for a while. So then I will take that number and then maybe add like 100 or something so that it's accurate for like if I was stitching for the entire month, and then maybe divide that by 2 and then like say that will be the number for my May projects so that I can put X amount of stitches in both of those projects and be able to complete my WIPGO goals. I am doing the reward system for the WIPGO goals, which is that when I get a full bingo line, I was going to reward myself with something. So either like a new pattern or a new fabric or new threads or supplies. I was going to reward myself with supplies. Either that or I was going to supplies, and I was going to also, for some of the rewards, buy myself gift cards to some of my favorite cross-stitch shops so that I can have some credit stored away so that if I want a pattern later on and I don't feel like spending money, I can spend the gift card instead. Okay, so that's all of my WIPGO stuff explained. So these are the 2 other projects that I've been working on that are not related to WIPGO. Okay, so I have been working on the Castle Homecoming Club because I did not finish the cell. So this is on Fiberlicious 32 count Lugana eucalyptus showers. And I have been working on clue 4. And I'm going to catch up in a way that I'm going to do each clue, complete each clue, like if I was doing this out, because they have the whole clue out now, so you could just stitch like whatever, wherever you want, but I was going to stitch per clue just because I think that would be fun, and then I'm still kind of like doing a stitch along. But so this is clue 4, which is down at the bottom. It's the grass under the dragon and the knight and the mushrooms and the pond under the bridge and the cattails and the little magic-y things by the frog. And then, yeah, part of Nessie is starting to come through. I don't have Nessie's head yet, but yeah. So I did some changes. I put metallic in the frog, in his crown. I did also stitch the DMC because I was tired that night, and I was like, I want to do the crown in metallic. So I just put the metallic over the DMC. So, oh, and I gave the frog gold eyes as well. And that's DMC Diamant, which is the DMC metallic that's not the étoile, because the étoile is not my friend. And I looked up what color eyes do frogs generally have, and the Google was like brown, green, or they can even have gold eyes. I think there were a few other choices, but I was like, ooh, the frog should have gold eyes. And then I continued my pattern of doing 1/1 for a part of the animal. Like for the unicorn, I did his nose. For the frog, it was his tummy. And then for Nessie, it's her underside. So like under her fins, and then this is like her neck. So But I always do 1/1, and when the dragon, it's his eyeball. I do 1/1 skin for the people because I like the way it looks. And then for animals, I just pick like one part of them, usually the smaller part. And then I do that 1/1 just because I really like the way it looks, and I like the variety of like textures that it gives the little characters. So if you do this, you do not, it's charted 2/2, so don't worry, you don't have to do that. I just really like doing it. Okay, and then my next project I have to go get because I actually forgot to bring it here, so I shall return. I also worked on dimensions. I'm calling it the Christmas truck. It didn't have a name. And I'm not using the kit fabric because I don't normally stitch on Aida. So I'm doing it on Fiberlicious Return to Eden 32 count Lugana. I've never used that stash unload site before, but I might do that for getting or giving away my, not giving away, selling my like my Aida, because I don't use it and I feel like it should go to a home where somebody does use it. So maybe I'll check that out and I don't know, maybe get a few bucks. Need more David coffee. Maybe get a few bucks off some Aida that I don't use, and then it can go to a good home where it will be loved. This is what I have done. I did the top of the car because last time I think I just had the headlight and the wreath, and so now I just went up and got the roof of the car basically done. I just have to fill it in, and then the windshield, and then the other side of the car. Looks cute. I had an idea for this though, because I'm giving this away, the stitched piece away as a gift for the crafting retreat that I'm going to again in the fall. But I'm keeping the pattern because I always usually do. And I thought about making this into a 4th of July truck. So like changing the truck to blue and then making this more like a 4th of July wreath. I think I would, and then hanging that in my house. I think I would love that. So that's my idea for that. Okay, this other thing I have to show you is literally just a blank piece of fabric, but I am doing the Arctic Animals Frosted Pumpkin 2024 Stitch Along, and I'm doing it on 32 count Lugana Ashes to Ashes from Fiberlicious. And it's this gray fabric, and the stitch along starts on May 9th. So I've got this, and I have a few of the DMC already. Of course, I never have all the colors because why would I, even though I have like a giant box of DMC. But as we all know, you think you have all the DMC, but you really don't. I ordered the treasure braid from Frosted Pumpkin and the ephemera kit, as well as the pattern, because I'm a scrapbooker too. So when I saw that they had ephemera, I was like, yes, please. So I will be doing that, and I will be doing WIPGO. So that's all that I have for now. So yeah, I will see you guys later. And thank you for watching and subscribing and commenting and liking and all of the good things. So until next time, I shall see you later. Bye.